Fantasy Grounds College. Learn, play, run, and create your own stories with people from all over the world. Fantasy Grounds College is dedicated to provide the community the best volunteer support possible. Join our community today and tell your unique story. FGC, Fantasy Grounds College.
Hey, everybody, this is Founder Layroon. I'm here with Lady Shell and Jolly GM. We're going to go over the Conan the Barbarian rule set, or we should just say Conan. And this is from Modiphius. And Jolly and I met a while ago back, I want to say about a year and a half ago through Boffrin. He's a big time alternate rule sets person, so he kind of got us together, and he and I had both been kind of off and on in touch over the months. But yeah, so I have a big interest in Conan. This is one of my favorite low fantasy settings, or low magic, I should say. High fantasy, low magic. But yeah, so we have Jolly here. So hey, Jolly, what's going on, man?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. It's good times.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to get right into this. Just want to let everyone know that we're using Fantasy Grounds Classic, and we have the new Conan rule set that was just published recently. This is
hmm
the Modiphius version, but we're going to talk to Jolly about his history and how he got up to this point. Lady Shell has a series of questions for him, and then I'm going to help moderate the chat and show the pictures and all the nice graphics and such as we go through the chat. So go ahead and take it away, Lady Shell.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hey, my thing finally came up. It said that our stream just started. I mean, I believe it was started, but I haven't seen the little notification that says Streamlabs and stuff, but it says live in the top. So I'm going to assume we are live. Are we live, people?
I
Chat,
think
speak
so.
up if we're live.
Yeah, gotta love Twitch. This is great.
Okay, Shell.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to leave it on off because it buffers, and I don't know why it's buffering because I have a fast connection.
Hmm,
Hey, D&D dudes, brother, and thank you again for the sub.
cool.
Okay. Now people are responding, so I'm guessing we are live.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So our first question here, Jolly. How long have you been playing RPGs?
I've been playing RPGs since I was a kid, so I'm in my mid 40s here now. So I would say, close to 35 years for sure. So it's been a long time since I've been playing RPGs.
So, how did you first get into Conan? Was it like through the books or the movies or the games or all of the above?
I would say it would have been all of the above. Obviously growing up, Arnold Schwarzenegger was getting big in the 80s, and then, they released the Conan the Barbarian movie, and I saw that as a kid. And also through Marvel comic books, they used to have the Savage Sword of Conan. So um, I used to watch or read those comic books, and I grew up reading the black and white comics, and I just loved it so much, and it kind of grew from all of that.
Very cool. Have you played different versions of the Conan RPG?
I haven't really. I know that Mongoose they had like a D20 type version, open license there a while back. I never got into that one, but I did play. I was a big player using the system GURPS. GURPS is a generic universal system, and I used to use GURPS to play my own type of sword and sorcery settings, kind of based on Conan. And then they released several books to allow you to, if for the Conan world. So I used to use GURPS quite a bit to play Conan back in the 90s.
Okay, let's change our little subject over to when did you first start using Fantasy Ground?
Um, I've been using it for quite so I can't really nail it down. I don't know how many years. I know it's been over 10 years now, 10, 11 years. back in the early 2000s. Not too long after, I guess, Fantasy Grounds first really became started to kind of become more mainstream. I guess I got involved with Fantasy Grounds, and I've been kind of hooked on it. Actually, it's a great. I think it's a great little program because it allows you to use it offline and you don't have to be like on a web-based type of server. So I've been kind of stuck on using Fantasy Grounds for quite a few years now. I'm really happy with the way it works.
I'm happy the way it works too. This is the only way that I've ever played, so I don't really have anything to compare it to, but hey, if it works and it's great, why should I switch, right? So,
Exactly.
let's see. Let me look at my question list. Okay. Are you happier being a DM or a player, or do you like them both equally?
I prefer running games. That's my preferred. Now, I just like being involved in general. So if I got a chance to play, which I do, one of my acquaintances in Ottawa has invited me to play a game. So um, I enjoy playing, but I enjoy writing and running my own games more. So I guess I'm a GM at heart. I guess.
Hey, we can always use more GMs, so that's a good thing. Um, what about the community rule set? Did you have a hand in developing?
Uh, well, there's a couple of community rule sets that are out there. Mine was based off of, I created one myself, made it out of, made an extension for Morecore. So it's pretty much just, a skin version with a few things I've been worked on it on my own. Uh, but there's, like I said, there's a couple of good community rule sets out there. Mine's a little rough because I'm not that much of a programmer, but I made it do what it needed to do. So I'm quite, I guess, I kind of proud about it. I guess myself. I ran quite a few games on it over the last 3 years since I got involved with the whole Conan. As soon as I actually heard that there was a Conan Kickstarter coming out, I pretty much said, well, I'm going to be playing this, so I got to make something available for Fantasy Ground. So I wasn't going to wait, so I jumped right into it, and and I know that a couple of users over on the forums, Fantasy Ground forums, they created their own rule sets. Valaire, I think he made one, and Keith over at Starship and Steel and Starships and Steel. I think he created a module himself, his own little rule set. So there's a few out there that are floating around.
Well, cool. That's a lot of variety there. At least gives people some, choices of what they like back.
Yay!
So we will have to have a part one, part two here, unless Livroon can figure out how to hook the two parts together. See what
That's
I was
all the
going to add.
doom. That's Crom throwing doom at us right now, saying no, this is not going to happen. Take it to heart.
So anyway, I was done with the questions that I had, and I was ready to start saying, why don't we show what it looks like and what you can do.
So we're gonna do kind of like a little guided tour. We'll have Jolly take us through. Right now, I have up the main map that comes from the inside the core rules. As you can see, it's a nice full color map. Looks like it was redone for the rule set. It doesn't have any pins on it, although I was able to pin my own little map here. This is for the, was that Vultures and Shem scenario? So yeah, go ahead and let's say the reference manual.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Good place to start.
So here in the library, I have the Vultures of Shem loaded, which is the additional starter module for this rule set. And then I also have the Conan rulebook here. And when I click on this, it'll actually show me all of the different tabs here. So I'm going to go to the reference manual. And this is the actual book. So if you purchase something in Fantasy Grounds, this is where you would actually take a look at the content you've purchased in book format. So if I double click on this header, we get into the introduction. And is there anything in particular that you'd like to show us, Jolly, or reference?
I think what's really cool in this is the tables. So any of the tables that they have available, like they're pretty. This game's got a lot of tables, and it's good that they got it all in here that you can just quickly roll on it, right?
Nice. So let's see. We want to pull up tables, and it looks like there are a ton of them. Let's see. Oh yeah. So there's a ton of different tables. So we have one that just has archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can roll randomly, and I guess that's to help you create characters, I imagine.
It is, and just to bring it back there, I know, like on the website, or sorry, on the forums, there were some questions about it. Uh, when a lot of people were saying, hey, it doesn't tell you anything about the archer or the barbarian, but if you click on notes on the side of the tab, that's where they have all the additional information for those archetypes.
Oh, cool.
So,
That's good to know.
yeah, a lot of people were wondering about that, and
Yeah.
when I held the stream the other day, that's one of the things that came up. So we discovered that, which is nice. It's nice to see it.
So Subutai, would this be the right approach? Should I give him his archetype, or should I just wait till he gets his ability scores? I mean, how would that work?
Well, yeah, it's all done in stages, and if you look at the character creation part, it actually talks about the steps that you go through. And the
Okay.
first thing is your attributes, right? You look at your well, at first you pick your homeland where he's going to come from.
Okay, well, we know that. We had a discussion.
Yep.
So we're looking at the actual locations. And this happens to be a model after Conan's friend, Subutai. And he's from the Steeps. And what'd you say he's... what was the race again? I keep forgetting the...
Hyrcanian.
Hyrcanian, yeah. He's Hyrcanian, so... So I guess that's Hyrcania is what you would call that.
Yep.
Yep. Hyrcania. Got it. Did it right. What do you know? Okay.
So you just like in the module there, if you click on the homelands on step 1, this is where, so if you click on the tables, the homelands table that's there, this is where you have the option, because picking the homeland or where you're from, you have abilities or talents because you came from certain areas. So if you were to open up the table and look at Hyperion or Hyperia, you will be able to tell what's additional talents or stats you may get or benefits you may get from being from that area.
That's cool. So if I go to Homeland and then go to a place like, let's see. So for instance, like this guy that I wanted to make, he would be probably of saddle and bow, or perhaps...
Well, if you see just above that where it says the homelands table.
Oh, okay. There we
click
go.
on that. All you got to do is find Hyperia.
Okay.
And it'll tell you what talent and what language you start off with.
Cool.
And yeah, you would be right. I'm pretty sure it's Rodder and Bow.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Of saddle and bow. Yep.
Yep.
So do we drag and drop that somewhere?
Yep. You can drag that right into your talents there.
Okay. Okay, there's that. Okay, so we got our homeland traits or talents.
Yep. So once you pick your homeland, your next step is your attributes, and the game is relatively simple. How they designed it, I really like the whole 220 rule set. May seem kind of daunting at first, in my opinion. Like it was when I first looked at it, I was like, man, this seems kind of hard, but it's pretty cagey, and I think they got a pretty slick system once you get past the initial fear of it. But all your stats start off at 7. All your abilities start off at 7, and that's your human basic average stats. So you would have the option to raise. You can adjust a couple of these stats. You can drop 2 by 1 or 1 by 2, and you can add the difference to another one that you didn't change. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah. So I would want probably agility and coordination. So yes. I can lower maybe personality by 1. And then maybe willpower by 1. So then I can increase those 2 by a little bit, right?
That's right. You can increase those by the same amount.
Okay. Now, would there be any
Right.
other changes I'd want to make, or is that good for now?
Well, that's your basic changes right there. The next thing that you do is this is where you start to develop the character how you imagine them, right? So if you were to click on your attributes in step 2 in your reference there, um, if you, I'm pretty sure there should be a attributes table there somewhere. There it is, right there.
Yep.
So essentially, you get to pick 2 attributes. All right. Uh, and this is how you define, and they all come with their aspects, and they're based on the way you picture your character. So if you want to picture them wise and friendly, or eagle-eyed, or fast and fit, this gives you some additional stats that would change because of the way you design your character. Right. So if you want to be eagle-eyed, your awareness and coordination would be a little bit higher. Your intelligence, and personality is a little bit better. And you kind of you get to pick 2 of these, and they could be the same ones too if you wanted to.
So I'm thinking of probably the eagle-eyed, and maybe dexterous, or fast and fit, or something like that.
All right. So just let me.
Mr. Widget
So you were
says, be cautious about interpreting the attributes table. Die roll 178 means what exactly? 17, he meant. So is this just a way to come up with random attributes, or is this part of the process here?
this is part of the process. A lot of like you can randomly create a character,
Uh-huh.
and you can just roll, and this is what he is,
Okay.
or you can actually choose. The game actually comes out and says you can pick or you can roll.
Okay.
In my games, I get people to pick because I like them to design their characters the way they see fit. Right.
Yeah. So I like those
So
two: eagle-eyed, fast, and fit.
eagle-eyed and fast and fit. All right. So without getting in too much of the into the rules and how it all works, you could now you would get to choose your best and worst attributes, right?
Okay.
So uh essentially, like if you notice where it says in the table mandatory attributes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So because you picked uh eagle-eyed and fast and fit, your mandatory attributes work out to be awareness, coordination, agility, and brawn.
Okay.
So out of those 4, you would pick your best stat.
Oh, it's definitely going to be coordination.
All right. And then out of the remaining 3, you pick your what would be your worst stat.
Out of those 3?
Yep.
Probably brawn.
Okay.
So what happens there? Do I need to adjust those again?
Well, what would happen there is that the way it works is when you pick your best one, your best stat goes up by 3.
Uh-huh.
Your worst stat goes up by 1, and the 2
Okay.
middle ones, the ones that you didn't touch, they
Yeah.
go up by 2.
Okay. Do I do that manually?
Yeah. As far as I know, I'm not too sure about the rule set how if that automation is there yet, but
Okay. So I'm
like
going to do
from
that.
what I'm looking at right now, your awareness is 9, your coordination is 11, your agility is 10, and your brawn is 8.
So you said awareness is 9?
Awareness is 9. Yep.
Agility is 10. Okay.
So that's your mandatory attributes. The next
Okay.
ones you need to look at are your optional attributes. And it's kind of the same idea. You get to pick 2 of the 4 that would be listed, and you get to bump those by 1. So you have the option to increase your intelligence, your personality, your coordination, and your awareness.
Okay. So just by 1, or only 1 gets a +1?
The ones that you pick only go up by 1.
Okay. So definitely want personality,
Okay.
intelligence.
Oh, so yeah, a little bit of thing here. Your first pick is intelligence and personality, so you got to choose between the 2.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick intelligence then.
Okay.
Okay.
And now you have to choose between coordination and awareness.
Coordination and awareness, it's going to have to be coordination.
All right.
Okay.
So now that would make your intelligence 8. Your personality is still 6. Your coordination is skyrocketed up to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And your awareness is 9.
Okay. So now you have a caste system, right?
That's right. Yep.
So the caste, does that get recorded on a different tab?
I think there's a background
Okay.
tab.
Yep, I see it. Okay. So caste, this has to do with your upbringing, where you were born.
Right. It also affects your social standing and which affects your in between game stats and how people treat you.
So there's a nice table here.
Yep.
So you can either roll or choose, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. I think I want to roll. I want to be a little risky.
Now, the developers of this actually got a really cool idea because when you roll, it rolls your cast and then it automatically rolls for your story, which I think is really
Nice.
cool.
I just see that. It's the event and the trait.
Yep.
So my event was the Quiet Hours of Peace, and the trait was Secret Past.
So you are a crafter.
Uh-huh. So do I grab over crafter stories?
Yeah, you can. Yep, you can click that open.
Okay.
And this gives you're looking for your quiet hours of peace. So this gives you a secret past, I think is what it is.
Okay. Yep.
Quiet hours
Sure.
of peace, yeah.
I see. Cool. So your trait is the Secret Past, right?
Yep.
So where is that at? Okay.
If you Yep.
And then cast is, you said crafter.
Yep. And because of this, because you're a crafter, you've managed now to get 2 talents. One is subject and one is tradesman.
Okay.
So I'm still getting used to the rule set.
Yeah.
But what I've been doing, I keep the talents down you got the talents option there, and I drag and drop those. If you look at over on the sidebar, you got your
Oh, okay.
talents tab, and you can just search for them directly, and you can drag them directly into your character sheet, which I find nice.
Talents tab. On the character sheet or on the notes?
Okay, no, go click on your main tab for your character sheet.
Okay.
And then on the side of the fantasy grounds over there, where it's like your spells and your talents and tables and all that stuff, you can click on talents and you can just drag it right up.
So you can search here, or are you saying just drag it from?
No, yeah, right from the side of the fantasy grounds there, over
on
on
the
your
right-hand side?
sidebar.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see. So subject and tradesman.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So because you are now a crafter, your crafting skill gets a +1 in both experience or expertise and focus.
So does that change rank, or does it change over here somewhere?
No, it's in right in your skill, right into your skill itself there. So right under intelligence, where you have your crafting
Yeah.
skill,
Goes +1.
you change those +1, and your focus as well. So you have your experience and your focus. So it'll be like craft 1, focus 1, and then.
Oh, I see.
Yep. Right there.
Look at it. I see.
So now, once you do this, this is when you select you're at your archetype, and this is what your character class is going to be.
All right. So we need to find that table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to be the archer.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. So do we have to drag and drop that one, or is it type it in?
You can actually just click and drag it over, yeah, like that. And that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
Yep. And now this is where you get all your additional skills and your talents and stuff, right, for your particular class. So right now, for example, your ranged weapons in your skill goes up by 2 expertise and 2 focus.
Okay.
You now gain the career talent, which is accurate. So if you want to look for accurate, you can drag that into your talent window there.
Okay. Let's see. That is a talent. Okay.
And now, because of that, you have your mandatory skills. So these are all the skills that you got to have some expertise in, some focus in to be an archer, right?
Yeah.
Based on the way they look at it. So right now, for example, you have your animal handling, observation, stealth, and survival all go up by +1. That includes your focus as well.
So where's the animal handling? It is.
That's under
right
personality.
There. So 1. So 1 on each focus and.
Correct. Yep. Observation goes up by 1 on 1.
Okay.
Your stealth goes up by 1 and 1, and your survival.
All right. All right.
So now you have your elective skills that you get to choose from. So you have there's usually like 3 skills, and you get to pick 2 of them. So you can choose to increase your acrobatics, your athletics, or your melee. It's entirely which 2 you get to pick.
Now, do I get to do the both experience and focus?
Yes,
Plus
it's
1?
the same. Yep, +1 on 1 for all of them.
So I picked acrobatics.
All right. So that goes up
1 and 1.
And now you have athletics or melee.
I'm going to go with melee. I'm thinking about what was said about this character.
Right.
So let's see. Okay.
All right. So acrobatics and melee. So once we do that, now we're going to go into choosing your nature. All right. Uh, nature tells you just, how the character would act, how, how he deals with stuff. This is how you're going to kind of look at it. Right. So again, you have the option to roll or you can select.
So is this going to be another table probably?
Yep, definitely another table.
All right. Let's roll. I mean, I have an idea, but I want to see. Cautious. I like it. So where does this get recorded? Somewhere in his background?
Yep, it'd be on the background tab there.
Okay. So one comment about this, and I have the same comment about a lot of rule sets, is the flipping back and forth between tables and tabs.
Yes. Yep.
So that would be something I don't know if that's already in consideration or not, but yeah, I would definitely, I don't know if you try to stay true to the rule set, then you kind of lose those little, the feature or,
Yeah.
but then if you don't follow the rule set, then it gets confusing because you can't follow the rule book.
Exactly. One of the
So,
things that I would have recommend, and I think they can look into it, is they can drag the talents into your, like, I think you can drag your talents and they can put the talents directly into the tables. So right next to cautious, for example, you would have the talents that are there or additional information, additional columns. And you can actually drag in you have the ability to drag over talents if they were to put that there. Like I said, the rule set's in its beginning stages here right now, and it's got a
yeah.
lot of potential. So it's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be taken off.
But I mean, if that was my first initial thing, that would be one of the things I would request.
Yeah.
Is to streamline that a little bit. I don't know if you can without breaking the flow of the character sheet versus the rule book.
Yeah. Now, and I will say this too. Just it's a brand new rule set, and there's a lot of thought and a lot of effort that's gone into this, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a bigger picture past what we've already seen. They've got the rule set out to us right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure they have a goal or a map of where they plan on going with this. So it's I just ask people to give it time with any brand new rule set. Everyone's always quick to jump on and say, "Hey, do this, whatever." But I'm sure that
Yeah,
they
this
got
isn't
this.
so much about Conan. This is more of a just a overall for any rule set.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really looking forward to now that they got this done. You have like Star Trek. I think it's being developed or already out there. You
Yeah.
have
John Carter.
John Carter, Mutant Chronicles, the Infinity one. I can't remember the name of it right now. I just know it by the tabletop game. But you have Infinity. You have these awesome rule sets and rule books that are out there now, and I cannot wait to get my hands on some of those if they get developed over time.
Now I noticed they have the IP for Fallout and some of the other bigger games. You think that will ever come to Fantasy Grounds? They're
I
more
don't
like
know.
board games, but
Yeah, I don't know. And to be honest, I haven't really been following the Fallout part as much as I love the computer games. As for the tabletop version of it, I haven't really been following it all that much. But that could be something the Fantasy Grounds in the future could actually probably go to. I can see it being used as it's not just for role playing games, but it can be
yeah,
used
board
for
game.
board games as well, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, so I'm kind of getting off track, but
Yeah,
Shell, do you have any questions about this character or about the rule set?
I'm totally lost. I'm a 5e girl. I don't understand any of this. It kind of reminds me of Call of Cthulhu or something with all the different things you add here, subtract here. So like way over my head.
Well, what I'm thinking is that the college needs to have more classes, and if we get people that can actually teach this, like how it's done, it'll make it a little bit more digestible for the rest of the community.
Yep.
And then you can always go back and kind of watch some of these videos if we make any more. I think maybe we're going to make a character creation video, Static and Jolly. Maybe we should do that on our next endeavor instead of critiquing it. Let's just use what we have and try to build on top of that.
For sure, absolutely. Uh, Here's one thing I really like about the way the game works is I find it really good for telling a story. And I don't know if you've ever, I'm sure you have. I know you're a fan of Conan. You've read the Robert E. Howard stories,
Yeah.
and the stories are isolated, but you put all the stories together, you have a grand history of Conan and his great adventures, right? uh, the game plays out so much like the books. I found in my experiences, and it does it really well. So I find character creation actually leads to that, and if you keep that in mind when you're creating your character, it really adds an extra pizzazz to the game, I think.
We actually did have a question from Jonan before we had started. He said that he would be interested to see how folks are handling some scenarios in Fantasy Grounds, like zones, for examples, in maps. Can we show that?
I'm not honestly. I'd have no idea what he's talking about, but perhaps.
I do.
Okay.
I do for sure. Yeah, Joanne, great question. I struggled with the same thing when I first started. And if you have the actual maps from the PDFs and you're using those, problem's simple. But if you don't, what I've been doing is I would use, instead of using the square grids, I would create hexes, and I would make the hexes larger. And that way each hex is a zone. And that's how I've been handling it. I hope that answers.
Hmm.
Does anyone else have any questions in the chat? That was the only one that I had noticed in the time that we've been streaming.
So I think Subutai is one of my favorite characters out of the Conan series. I like his sense of humor, and he was
Yeah.
pretty clever, and he was just a little shrimpy guy, but boy, he could really hold his own when he had to. So he looked kind of wiry and weak, but when he actually was in action, he kicked butt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was. I really those movies were so good. You know, I really they bring back a lot of memories every time I watch them.
Now I like the new Conan that came out, what, in the early 2000s, but it was nothing like the older ones.
No, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I don't think they were as true to the to the story of Conan directly, but it was a fun, enjoying movie for sure. I enjoyed it.
All right, so I'm showing some of the homebrew stuff that I've put. So I put together this thing for Subutai because I really wanted to capture that Mongolian look, and that's pretty much Subutai. That name is probably adopted from the legends from the Mongol Empire. Subutai was one of the biggest generals that Genghis Khan had. So I think Howard or whoever created this character probably drew upon things from the past. Obviously, if you look at his maps, he was probably a big historian buff, and he really liked to mix his fantasy with real life uh, history. So definitely a cool tie in there. And then I set up a little scenario for Subutai. We're not going to be able to get to that today, obviously, but I put a couple ghouls on the battle map, and I have his horse and him walking down one of these trails, and he gets ambushed by a couple ghouls that are hiding out in the mountains somewhere, maybe next to some ruins or something. And I want to bring up that photo that you really liked. So this is the Frost Giant one.
Yeah, that's right. The Frost Giant's Daughter is the name of the story that this one was taken from.
Oh, I see. And I imagine that's his daughter, and Conan was trying to date her or something like that.
Well, if I remember the story correctly, he kind of really wanted to date her, but that's her two brothers.
Oh.
And she tried to lure him off to his doom, and obviously he got a little wise to the situation, and yeah, he got out of that one barely.
Yeah,
So I haven't had a chance. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask. I haven't had a chance to look at the new Adventures of Shem into this yet, so I just
Okay.
saw it there pop up.
Yep.
How is it looking on the Fantasy Grounds mod so far?
It's not too bad. I mean, I kind of used it as a model for creating this scenario.
Okay. Yep.
But even though this has nothing to do with the actual module, but it kind of inspired it.
Cool.
Let's see.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the story entry, and I'm gonna filter the group on top here. I'm gonna change this to Vultures of Shem. And the story here is basically an introductory module for this particular rule set. And you have all of the different chapters here listed from 0 to 8. You actually come through here. I really like the vellum look, by the way. Good, nice touch there, Static and whoever did the artwork on it. It has this vellum kind of look to the scroll on top. This kind of has like an older look on the backside.
That is a very nice touch.
I didn't even really notice that until I started looking at it. And it has these little rolls on the side, so that like when you're rolling the scroll back and forth, it has a little pin or the roller inside. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is definitely a more of a storyteller's RPG. I'm not saying there's no room for combat skill checks and things, but it really, the way the data is presented, like it has a lot of handouts. Like here, there's an ambush where you can hand this out to your players as you're describing the situation.
Yep.
And then you come up to a battlefield, and you have this picture that you show, and there's a lot of things to read here. Like the game master really has to know like what's going on, or at least they should have at least read over it. And then you have Eastern Shem, which is where this story takes place. There's the drop in the stream. So hey everybody, we're back. We are going to give out a copy of Conan. We did have X amount of people at one point. If we add up to 20, we're going to give out another. But yeah, so hopefully you guys can hear us again. Are we live again, or?
I'm seeing the picture. I'm seeing the screen.
Huh.
How are we going to do this? Because I think you said something about people were going to.
Yeah, we'll roll a die.
Guess a number or something.
Yeah, I can roll. We can roll a die or something. Whoever gets closest. So another cool thing about the rule set, we didn't have time to discuss momentum and doom tokens, etc. Yeah, kind of cool thing, different about the rule set. Yeah, cool. Huh. Yeah, so we're gonna end up giving away a copy of this rule set. It is going to get better, as we had said before, that it is just released. This is a brand new baby here. So I think how we're going to do this, since there isn't a ton of us here, is we're going to actually roll in the window. I guess Shell, myself, and Jolly are exempt. So there has to be at least 6 or 7 of you out there that might want this rule set. So
and I would say that if you I'll let you gift it to someone else if you want to, but we need to know that person's Fantasy Grounds forum name so that we can gift it to that person. So if you already have it, but you have someone that you have in mind that already has Fantasy Grounds name and they want this, if you win, you can give it to them if you've already got your copy. So hopefully we can give out a copy to someone who needs it.
Yeah, most of the people already have it. Okay.
Gee, Static, are you sure?
Wow. Okay. So if you don't have it already, I'd like you to try to get the rule set. So anybody in the chat that guess a number from 1 to 20, and I would prefer you don't have it already, but if you do, no big deal. Just find someone to gift it to. But go ahead and just type in one number in the chat, and I'm going to roll a 20-sided, and whoever is closest to that number will win the rule set. So in the Discord, or excuse me, in the Twitch chat, just type a number between 1 and 20, and we will roll the die to see who's closest.
Okay, we got Knight 5150, 13.
All right, all right.
You know, I find it funny. I haven't seen Boffin around tonight. I'm surprised he's not online trying to win stuff, because
He
has that
was here. He was
unique
here
ability to
before we
win.
crashed.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah,
Anyone
sorry,
else want
folks.
to guess?
It's crazy.
Yeah, we know all about that. So
Hey,
Eon Farmer
Ion
is
Farmer.
20, or Ion, and we got 13. All right, so we got 2 people at least. Yeah, he is the luckiest dude alive.
That he is, yep.
All right.
Hey, Ion Farmer, I hope you're doing well, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, he needs to buy Powerball. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll the 20-sided. Wait another minute maybe. And yeah, so I'm going to pick up this 20 die and just drop it in the chat. And whoever's closest to that roll will win the rule set. So is anybody else?
D&D Dude's brother, you can guess, you might win.
All right, I'm going to roll. So last call for numbers. Okay, like you said, before you win, or after you win, excuse me, if you win, please send us a private message in Discord. If you're not part of Fantasy Grounds College, look up Layroon6969 or Jolly or Lady Shell, and we'll get you the rule set. But we need your Fantasy Grounds Discord name, not the
Not
email.
Discord name.
Or not Discord, but
need your Fantasy Grounds forum.
Forums, yeah. So if you have an account in Fantasy Grounds Forums, let us know. All right, here goes the roll. What?
The pauses, the suspense.
Why is it 0? What did I do wrong here?
Oh, this is one of the things with the rule set. It won't let you roll the dice manually. You can't see the results.
Okay.
Not that it won't let you.
Okay, so where do I need to roll off the character sheet?
Yeah, just go down, and you see the yellow dots below your dial down there, the red dial in the bottom underneath your GM there.
Yeah.
Okay, just click on that and make it only one yellow dot.
Okay.
And now just select any talent, any skill, and just roll.
Okay. So we're gonna roll off of acrobatics. So do I just double click where the
double click on the target number, the TN? Yep.
Yep. 4. The number is 4. So it looks like whoever rolled the lowest, I think it was a 13.
That was Knight 5150, picked 13, and Static informed me that if we only have the 2 people trying to win, he would give the second person a copy. So you both won, people.
Yes.
And thank you, Static. That was
Thanks,
very
Static.
generous.
That's cool.
Yep. Congratulations to both of you then.
All right. So that is really cool.
So you can, please. I think I've got the easiest name. If you are in the Fantasy Grounds College Discord, just send me the name of the person, either yourself or whoever you want to gift it to, their Fantasy Grounds forum name, and we'll get that gifted out.
Yep. So if we get your official Fantasy Grounds, yep, both of you, we need to get your names. And we'll get it. We'll get you that prize. Yeah, it was cool. So Knight 5150 and Ion Farmer both have a copy of the new Conan rule set. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Very cool. Hey, it's not a cheap rule set either. I mean, it cost over $40, so.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Offering, you just missed out, buddy.
no free thing for you today.
So Judgment Kiss, this was Conan, the new Modiphius version. We just gave out 2 copies of the rule set. We just did a roll. DM sent you in Discord, Layron. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like this game, this rule set. Like I've been kind of putting off running any games all the last couple of months because I didn't want to get started into a system when I knew there was an official release coming out. Because I didn't want to have to transfer. Because once it's there and is made, I want to start using it, right? Help support the developers and the guys working behind it. So I'm looking forward to be running this now in the future. It's finally in my hands. I'm so pumped that it's out. I'm very happy about this.
Well, besides Static, I mean, he's the one that was kind of hinting that he was working on some more D20, 2D20 systems. But the first person I thought of is Jolly. I was talking to Boffer and I said, we got to let Jolly know. We got to tell Jolly.
I think the day it was released, like I knew following the Kickstarter, people were asking questions about the rule set. It was being popped up, and some guy put a link up to the storefront page for the rule set, and I clicked on it, and you wouldn't let you add it to the cart yet because it wasn't officially available yet. So I sent a couple of emails off, asked when it was going to be available, and they said, tomorrow or whenever it was going to be. So that day, every 15 minutes, I would go to that page and I would hit add the cart, add the cart, add the cart. And I did it 4 or 5 times within an hour, and eventually it added to the cart. And I was like, I got it. I got to be like the first. I had to have been like the first person to buy it, to have bought it. I'm so excited that it's out. So it's been a long time coming.
Well, I was talking to Jolly earlier in the stream. I'd like to see you, Jolly, Bofferin, Static, and Pops, potentially a couple other people, maybe even myself, maybe even Lady Shell, play a one-shot together and just kind of have fun and explore the new rule set. Maybe we can give it another month or so to get fine-tuned, and then
Yeah, for sure.
we'll have one of you guys run it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yep.
It helps
You'll
show.
need a month to get me fine-tuned because I don't understand it.
I don't either, but I think if we just kind of go along with what they tell us to do, it'll be fun.
Well, I've run a couple of these games for the Fantasy Ground conventions, the free games that they put up, and it's been fairly well received to the system. You try to keep the game light starting off, and the guys, there's so much you can do with the game itself, um, but it's a really fun game. It's there's consequences, and as a GM, there's nothing more fun to be able to legitly say, take a bunch of doom tokens and throw it on the table and say, okay, this is now going to happen to you. So it's a fun mechanic. I really enjoy running the games for this.
Any other questions while we're here? We're going to end the stream soon. Hopefully, sorry about all the technical difficulties. I think I had it doing 60 frames per second. That's probably why it was buffering too much. And also, high quality, that sort of thing. So maybe if I went down to 30 frames, it would have been better.
Yeah, Ion Farmer was the other.
He just logged into our Discord, so
Okay.
I'm sure we'll get a thing.
All right, cool. Let's see. So I'm going to the Fantasy Grounds store right now, and I'm gifting Nightmare. So Nightmare, give me about 3 minutes, and then if you're at home or you're able to fire up your Fantasy Grounds, whether it's Unity or not, and you can pull in your purchase.
Doesn't it have to be a classic, at
No,
least demo version? No?
no. You can have either or to get the rule set.
Yeah. It currently comes as both, actually, when you buy it. Like
Yeah,
it comes.
you
Yeah.
can use it in both. But it doesn't matter which one he updates as long as he does. Okay, buddy, she's yours.
Congratulations. I look forward to the invite to your game.
Okay, cool. So my Fantasy Grounds user ID is the same as my Discord. Right on. Yep. All right, so this is a nice looking rule set. I really like the character sheets, the details to it. I would have to say that, other than just little things, I think it's pretty well done, and I like the background. I like the colors because I really like brown,
Yeah.
green, earth tones. I don't really like super bright or white even. So I kind of appreciate that. It's easier on the eyeballs.
Yeah, it's definitely a very functional rule set, and I do believe that there is a document available, like a reader's document or a user's document that is available.
Hmm.
I think I saw it over at the Nerd Eye Games website. I'm not sure. Maybe Static will be able to help with it. I know it's out there, so it's you learn a lot. Once I read it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. So it's a good piece of documentation to read.
So we have some links here for you guys if you want to stick around. Lady Shell and I did a little research for the show. We have Modiphius's actual website for Conan rule set. I mean, we're giving you the direct link to the rule set, but there's other stuff on there too. We also have Jolly told us about a character builder kind of tool thing that you can use on the Modiphius's website.
Yep.
So I will put that in the chat.
Which one did you want me to give out? The
Yeah.
Modiphius.com one or the forums one?
We want to do Modiphius. The forums one was for us, but
No, the forums was Modiphius. Forums,
okay.
Modiphius.com categories.
Okay. Yeah, you can give that out too.
Oh wait, now I got another little tool that you guys could use as well. For Modiphius tools, because they have the character generator as well, which is the link that you got there. But they also have the adventure generator available. And so if you wanted to put together an adventure, I just got to bring it up here now.
So the links that we're putting in the chat are extra tools for you guys when you start getting into the rule set. The character generator will export to PDF. And you could just manually enter it into Fantasy. That's cool. Yeah, Jolly, you're gonna have to send that to us because you're not an admin.
Yeah, I just put it into the chat there. I kind of jumped the ball there, but
yeah,
I'll put it into your chat window there too.
Okay. There you go.
Now that link that I just gave there is Jolly's own Twitch stream that he did on character creation for Conan.
Is a community rule set. If you guys are interested in the free community rule set, I'm sure there's a link for that to the Fantasy Grounds forums. Did we ever find that?
No, I have the one that that Jolly's working on. I've got a link for that.
Yeah, let's put that in there too. I think that it would be great if Jolly and Static got together and did some brainstorming, at least on the story role-playing side. So, Jolly, I know you said you're not really a big programmer person, but if you've already got most of the stuff entered, I mean, it's got to be a real simple task to pull that out of uh, an XML, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, certainly, like, I can certainly share it. Like, I got no problems. Anything
Well,
to
I
make
mean, with
this.
with the developer, not the public,
Yeah.
but
No, no,
yeah,
naturally, yeah.
yeah,
I got to, to be.
yeah. Static, I'd get him on board if you can, man. I think he would make a good asset, at least to get the rule set going, because I know people are going to be thirsting for more content real soon. I'm sure there's some protocols you have to go through, but Jolly's been at this for a long time, and I see you guys are already chatting quite a bit back and forth in the forums. So I think y'all need to have a play date. And we got to get Boffin in there too, because it doesn't look right with just two dudes in the sandbox. It's got to be one more at least. All right, I think we're going to call it wrap. Sorry about the tech difficulties, folks. Next time I'll be a little bit, yeah, there you go. That's awesome. I do conversions directly for Smartworks, by the way. So Night 5150 does it too.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, I'll just get you guys together and brainstorm and do some work, because I want to see some content.
Yeah. Like, it's been a real, like, the while I've been waiting, like, I kept plugging away at it, and the hours over time, it just built up, and it's a real labor of love. And I just want to make a shout out to to Static and the rest of the guys that have been working on the professional version. Like, this is a real challenge to do what they're doing, and I think they've done a really great job with what they got. I'm happy. I'm really happy. I was a little nervous at first, when you first get it, what's it going to be like, and I think the guys really did a good job with this rule set, and it's only going to get even better than what it is now. So good job, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me happy. I really appreciate it.
And not to mention, next week, I believe, we're going to have Static on the All Things Fantasy Ground show. And we're going to be getting in a little bit deeper with the actual rule set with Rob. And not saying we didn't today, but we'll have a probably a little bit larger crew, and we'll have all kinds of, probably another prize. Yep, we can do that. So Laren has my Twitch name. You want to send me a DM in Discord, Jolly. Wait till you see Star Trek. Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
That's going to be huge. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
gonna
know that's huge.
you're gonna mix the mashed potatoes with the gravy. Can't have that. You're gonna have all these Trekkies and fantasy people together. I don't know, man.
Uh, I can see the fights now.
I like both.
Yeah, so think I was just talking about linking. So earlier, I don't normally do this without doing this part. So if I was gonna run this campaign, I would definitely have this the big map linked to this little to the smaller map that comes with the game.
Yep.
So that way, if I needed to pop it up, well, there it is in the actual region. And then if I was on this big regional map, then I can just click that. Or
And you're there with the adventure
Yep,
map.
exactly.
Yep. Now, just before you log off, let me give you a little story about that map here. Um, that This game is based off the writings of Robert E. Howard. So, we've had, like, Mongoose did like 20 games. I think, pretty sure it was Mongoose. They did like 20 books, a whole pile of books. There's been numerous novels done on Conan. There's a whole bunch of uh, unofficial stuff, or stuff that other people added to the stories for the other novels. But this is all based off the actual stories, on all the different short stories that Robert E. Howard wrote. So this is like what he, I guess, kind of envisioned. So for some of the people out there who may want to know, why, how come the city is here, or whatever, it's all based off the original writings, which, this is why I like the system so much, because it's a real purist form to this world, which I like. Anyway, enough of that. Enough gushing about Conan.
Oh, that is the topic, though.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, TSR did some too, but I, to be honest with you, back then, if I remember right, it didn't really do it for me. If I had
Yeah,
a
that's
few
right.
modules,
Yeah.
and I didn't really, I felt like it was, I don't know, like it didn't fit. It was like a square going into a circle. It just didn't quite make it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I had those too. Actually, now that I think about it, I never played in that system, but is
Yeah.
essentially is eventually Dungeons and Dragons at the time,
Yes, it
and
was.
with
Um,
with branded over. So
I like the art and the maps and stuff, but I didn't
yep.
care so much for the adventures and the rules. I did like the
Yep.
NPCs. I remember them very
Yep.
well. I did like the what Conan was that? There was another company that kicked out maybe it was Mongoose. Someone put out some really beautiful maps, and also the video game. Even though I don't play that, it actually has some really decent artwork.
Well, are you talking about the new adventure game, of Conan Exiles, that came out?
Yeah,
Well, this is I tell you what I did there a while back when I was running a couple of adventures. I wanted some maps, so what I did, I went into um, admin mode in because I got the game, of course, and I went into admin mode and I changed the point of views of the cameras, and I would take pictures of the different things in the game, and I would use those as the maps for my Conan adventures. So it was a great tool for me. Like I kind of got it more for running RPGs than actual playing it, but that's what I was doing, and that worked out really well. So
that's pretty cool. I've done stuff like that too.
yeah.
I've found if you guys are looking for tokens and you're not really up to making your own or such, there's a ton of tokens out there. I found a barbarian token that pretty much looks like Conan. I mean, I even have a picture here where I'd found let's see. So this is a thing I threw together in Publisher, but this girl here is a priestess, and this is Conan here. When you actually see the high resolution token, it looks really good. It's close. And then you have this creature here, this giant that they have ensorcered here. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to call it. Lady Shell, you got anything else?
Nope, not for me.
Jolly, anything?
Well, no, I appreciate you guys asked me to come on and talk about Conan, and I hope to do more with you guys in the future.
Yeah,
For
same
sure.
here.
Well, we will like you to come for our Founders Day weekend, which is July 24th through 26th, and maybe you can run a Conan game there.
Yeah, for the
That's
community.
yeah, sure. That sounds like a lot of fun.
That's a weekend of games, and I'd like to see more variety other than just Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. I'd like to see a lot of Star Trek. I hope Star Trek's out by then, because I know that'll be a big hit.
Oh, yeah, I think that'll be a monster. For sure.
All right, so we're gonna call it a stream. Nice to talk to all of you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Congrats again, and we'll see you around. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.